Hello, this is Lady Boule, and I hope you're having a wonderful day. Thank you for your support. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Thank you for your thumbs up, for your comments, and thank you for sharing the videos. Thank you for all you do to support the channel. And yes, we are commanded to love one another, whether we want to or not, or whether we agree with each other or not. Well, the title of the video is Who is Asking Black Americans for Help? Everybody who has come here as an immigrant may not have asked Black Americans for help, but you have certainly taken help from Black Americans because of our own struggle here and because of our agency here. There are constitutional amendments that are for and about Black Americans. There were laws passed in this country just for Black Americans. There is a reason why there are so many museums and monuments dedicated to Black American icons. We have a footprint in this country like no other. So then, who is asking Black Americans for help? Everybody. Listen to this.
Right there. Go ahead, sir.
Is that divisive? You think when you hear Tariq really like kind of divide black people between like immigrants and FBAs? Like, do you think that that's a useful framework to view things through?
Well, first of all, no, we can't necessarily be more divided than we've been in history. I'm sorry to say that, but we it's already reached its apex, its climax, the top. That's number one. Number two, I know what he's doing is primarily focusing on us here because that's what we need to do. It's focus on our people here before we go help other people. So that's number two. Number three, it can be divisive if we focus more attention on.
As you heard Rizla Islam say, it's the same thing that a lot of FBA been saying, that they cannot help nobody else until they help themselves. That's 100% facts. But the question is who is asking FBA for help? What part of the people in the world from the diaspora is asking or reaching out to say, FBA, we need help? Nobody. So stop saying that.
Don't know who that person is that was talking at the end, but what he's saying is a lie. We had an African that came to our church from Kenya asking for donations. He had been all over the city speaking at churches and asking for donations, talking about in his country, children are going to the dump looking for food. There are Black denominations in the United States of America that have built churches and schools in the Caribbean and Africa. And the reason that they built those churches and schools is because the people asked them to, because they didn't have the resources to build them. It's been well publicized that Oprah Winfrey built a school in South Africa. And the reason she built the school is because when she met with Nelson Mandela, she asked him what could she do to help. And he told her to build a school in South Africa, and that is what she did. Let's take a look at this headline. Jay-Z spent millions in Angola for kids to have better access to water. The only way that he would have known that is somebody told him that and asked for help, or maybe he just volunteered. Whichever way, they needed the help, and he provided it. There is a long list of Black American celebrities, charities, churches, sororities, fraternities, and other organizations that have made contributions to African villages, African organizations, African people for various reasons. And that has been going on for a long time. In my own sorority, we donated over 29,000 what's called little dresses for Africa. These dresses were made out of pillowcases, and they were sent to little girls in villages to go to school or to wear or just to have. But we sent those dresses to Africare, and they distributed those dresses to the children in need. Our sorority partners with Africare, which is an organization that is committed to addressing African development and policy issues by working with African people to build sustainable, healthy, and productive communities. See, when Africans get out and get over here, They don't look back. They don't think about the people who were left behind. They just want to get their asses over here and start competing with us and talking crap to us. They don't even think about what's going on back home. But there are those of us, there are many black Americans who look at the situation in Africa and try to help. And it's because the people in Africa ask for help, because they know once those clowns get out, they're not going to look back and say, okay, I want to help my village. They might send some money back to help their family, but I don't believe they're sending nearly as much back as they claim they are. But black Americans work with organizations in Africa to help those villages that are depressed and marginalized and don't have the help that they need. Also, in my church, we made sanitary garments that have removable pads so that girls can take the pads out and wash them, because they don't have proper sanitary care in some of those villages. And when those girls are having their special time of the month, they can't go to school. So there are things that Africans ask for help for that these Africans over here don't know anything about, because they turn their back on their people when they get over here. And the worst thing you can do is make them take their behinds back over there. So who's asking black Americans for help? Everybody who needs help. That's who's asking. Now let's get down to the nitty gritty. The person in that video who said, who's asking black Americans for help? Hell, you are. You are. You got help from black Americans. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here. And you definitely would not have citizenship. Black Americans are the reason that immigration opened up and black people could come to this country without having a white person to sponsor them. That's what they don't tell you. When they first started coming over here, they had to be sponsored by a white American. They had to be sponsored. So when the Immigration Act of 1965 was passed, that is when they could come here without being sponsored by some white person. And the only reason they have citizenship is because of the 14th Amendment. And they wouldn't believe it when we said it. So Donald Trump had to tell them the 14th Amendment didn't have anything to do with them coming over here and being born in the United States. The 14th Amendment was passed for the formerly enslaved people to become citizens, not people coming over here on a student visa, overstaying their visa, and then having babies here, and then their babies get to be American citizens, which is what most of these anchor babies are, who are over here running their mouth. They can thank black Americans for that. Yes, you can thank us for that. Also, these Ivy League schools that you're going to, you are going into those things under affirmative action. Those are positions that were supposed to be for black Americans, but like they do it in America, they flip it around so that they can deal with people that they know they can manage, as opposed to the people that it was really for. Furthermore, these HBCUs, you run into these HBCUs joining organizations that black Americans established. Everything you're getting here is something you're getting through the agency of black Americans. So who's asking black Americans for help? You are. That's who. You are. And I could go on and on and on, but you get the point. Okay, y'all, let me know what you think about this video. I get sick and tired of these arrogant, ungrateful ingrates always talking about what they have, bragging about jobs and degrees. Black Americans are used to jobs and we're used to degrees. There are 14 HBCU colleges in my home state of Alabama. Those are historically black colleges or universities. Some of them established in 1865. We came out of slavery going to college. Jobs are plentiful all over this country, but black immigrants would not have access to jobs or colleges in this country if it was not for black Americans. And they can take it or they can leave it alone. And I'll end with this. Everybody that's out in the streets now protesting is asking black people to come out there and help. Where are the black people? Where are the black people? Including the Palestinians, the Hispanics, the women, everybody who at least has the guts to get out there and protest what the Trump administration is doing towards mass deportation. The only reason you black immigrants are not out there is because you're too cowardly to get out there. You're too scared to get out there and stand up for what you want. You won't fight in your homelands and you won't fight here. But everybody else is asking for black people to help because they know we do it the best. That's what they know. And I forgot to mention this, but there are a lot of African content creators on YouTube making videos about Black Americans. They're making videos about things that Black Americans have said in the past. Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Muhammad Ali, even Minister Farrakhan. Then they're making videos about things that are happening with Black Americans, between Black Americans and white Americans. All of their content is centered around Black Americans. So, what do you, I don't even know what you call that. You're not asking for help, you're just taking it. I mean, it's just like they don't talk about anything that's going on with them and their people and their homeland. So these people don't have any self awareness. They don't even realize how they are parasiting our Black Americans. And then we'll say, who's asking Black Americans for help? I'll say it again. You are. Okay, y'all, thank you for listening. Let me know what you think about the video. Give me a thumbs up and have a good evening.